What really happened to soldiers inside Iraq's most dangerous combat zones between 2003 and 2008, where every step could mean life or instant chaos? On March 20, 2003, the world changed forever as the Iraq War officially began with the US-led invasion. And within hours of crossing the border, young American soldiers found themselves in a reality far darker than training ever prepared them for. Dust storms swallowing convoys, radio silence breaking into sudden panic, and the first shock of roadside explosions that turned calm desert highways into unpredictable killing zones. What followed was not just war, but a psychological storm where fear, confusion, and survival instincts collided in real time, especially as units pushed toward Baghdad by April 9, 2003. When the capital fell but the conflict did not end, it transformed into something far more dangerous, an invisible enemy that blended into cities, streets, and shadows. By late 2003 and into 2004, soldiers were rotating through hotspots like Ramadi and Fallujah, where on April 28, 2004, reports of prisoner abuse scandals added global tension while on the ground. Troops were already dealing with escalating ambushes and the haunting unpredictability of urban warfare, where every doorway could hide danger and every street corner felt like a question mark no one wanted answered. Then came November 7, 2004, the start of the Second Battle of Fallujah, Operation Phantom Fury, one of the most intense urban battles of the war, where Marines and Army units moved block by block through a city-turned battlefield, facing sniper fire, improvised explosive devices, and close-quarter combat conditions so intense that medics often had seconds to reach wounded soldiers while under fire themselves, dragging teammates into cover amid collapsing buildings and choking dust. The kind of environment where communication breaks down and survival depends on split-second instincts rather than orders. In these moments, humor sometimes became a coping mechanism. Soldiers cracking nervous jokes over static-filled radios like, "This ain't exactly a vacation spot, huh?" Because laughter, even shaky, helped cut through the fear that otherwise could freeze a person in place. But the horror wasn't just explosions or gunfire. It was the psychological weight of not knowing what came next, especially during convoy missions where every tire roll over dusty roads in 2005-2006 could trigger an IED blast without warning, leaving soldiers hyper-alert for every unusual sound, every abandoned object, every flicker of movement. Medics became silent heroes in this chaos, sprinting into danger zones to stabilize wounded comrades while bullets cracked nearby, their hands steady even when everything else wasn't, embodying a courage that often went unseen but was absolutely essential for survival. By 2006, insurgent activity intensified, especially during the Battle of Baghdad and surrounding provinces, where sectarian violence added another layer of unpredictability, turning missions into emotional endurance tests, where soldiers were not only fighting enemies but also trying to protect civilians caught in the crossfire, a burden that left lasting mental scars long after deployment ended. In places like Ramadi in 2006-2007, urban warfare reached brutal intensity, with units clearing buildings room by room, often encountering booby traps and sudden ambushes that forced rapid tactical responses, while exhaustion blurred the line between alertness and survival instinct. Yet even in this environment, humanity surfaced in unexpected ways, soldiers sharing water in scorching heat, covering each other during retreats and forming unbreakable bonds that felt more like family than military units. Still, the emotional toll was heavy, as nights brought silence only broken by distant explosions, leaving soldiers awake and staring into darkness, questioning everything from purpose to survival, while waiting for the next mission brief that could change everything in seconds. And through it all, medics remained at the center of chaos, often called angels under fire by their fellow soldiers, because they ran toward danger when everyone else was running away, stabilizing injuries in dirt-filled environments with limited supplies, improvising under pressure, and making life-or-death decisions in seconds that no training could fully prepare them for. As the war progressed toward 2008, operations shifted toward stabilization, but danger never fully disappeared, and every patrol still carried the weight of uncertainty, especially in regions where insurgent attacks continued despite larger strategic shifts. What makes these stories so powerful is not just the combat itself, but the emotional contrast, the fear before stepping out of armored vehicles, the shock of sudden explosions, the strange calm in moments of survival, and the deep bonds formed between soldiers who trusted each other with their lives in environments where trust meant everything. And even now, years later, Many veterans describe those moments not just as battles, but as fragments of time where human limits were tested in ways most people will never experience, where courage wasn't loud or cinematic, but quiet, practical, and sometimes hidden behind exhaustion and dust-covered faces. So when we look back at Iraq between 2003 and 2008, we're not just studying military operations, we're witnessing raw human endurance under extreme pressure, where every mission could turn into a survival story, every street could become a battlefield, and every decision could mean the difference between life and loss. And after hearing these real combat experiences from soldiers who lived through it all, one question still remains. How would you have survived just one night inside that kind of chaos, fear, and unrelenting uncertainty?